So for the purpose of this video, let's call this woman Sarah. This woman has shocked me. I've told a few people her story, but today I want to share it with the rest of my YouTube audience and for everyone that wants to know. This woman, hey, let me repeat, she shocked me. I mean, day in, day out, I still think about her and I'm like, what a woman. And there are lessons to learn from her story and it's interesting as well. As you all know, I'm a nurse, right? And in my first year of coming to the UK, I decided to pick extra shifts in another nursing home, right? So I went to this nursing home. So that's where I met her. And that was where she used to work. So she's from another European country, not the UK. That's where she's originally from. And in that country, it is a non-English speaking European country. And according to her, she was a nurse back in that country where she was. And I believe her because of how she used to contribute, to things like that. She knew most of the medication, the side effects, what they were for. And I used to listen to her a lot and she would contribute, sometimes as I worked with her. So she worked as a care assistant and that's how we met. And we had lots of shifts together in that home. So the very first time that I met her, I had gone to that nursing home for sort of like an induction, a short induction, or to speak with the manager. And at the time, she came in to speak to the manager and she was not happy because she had not been given the number of shifts that she wanted in the rota. But that was just brief, That will make sense later. So, keep that in the back of your mind, right? So backstory, this woman has 2 kids. I honestly don't know her real age, but I would say she's probably in her 50s or she could be even older, but she looks much younger. So it looks like she was having issues with her marriage and that forced her to leave her country into the UK, right? So this woman shocked me. In this life, wherever there's a will, there's a way. She's been in the UK for, I'm not sure exactly, but I can say maybe over 10 years. And as at the time when I had started working with her, she was almost done paying for a house, not mortgage, back in her country. And it wasn't small money. And how was she making her money? Through care work in the UK. And this woman works 7 days a week. She does a half shift. The rest are all 12-hour shifts. So in a week, she does 6 12-hour shifts and 1, let's say, 6-hour shift or 1 8-hour shift. So it could be a twilight shift. This woman works in the same nursing home most of the time, and her house is not too far from the nursing home. She may take the bus when she really needs to, but her mode of transportation is using a bicycle. So absolutely no money spent on transportation. She said she's only bought food once. And I believe her. I believe her. And that was the pot noodle that you just add hot water and eat. She doesn't cook. Ask me again, how does she eat? She said that. And this is from what I saw as well. I used to do 9 shifts in that nursing home, right? And then she used to do 9 shifts as well. But I would always go and meet her. Like she would go very early. And she did her job well. Remember I said she has a nursing background. And she did it with so much care and so much passion. I mean, all the carers that I met in that nursing home were very good. And the residents loved her as well. They would ask for her, And then when she comes early, she'll go to the kitchen. For those of you who work in nursing homes, you know that there's almost always abundance of food. I mean, in the morning, you could go to the kitchen and make yourself toast some bread and make yourself, let's say, tea or coffee. And in the evening as well, sometimes they leave her some of the leftover meal from the residents' dinners. I don't know, for those that work in private hospitals and the trust, I don't know if food is like abundant in your facilities, but nursing homes, there's always food. I remember that even in my care home as well, like lunch or dinner in my care home was only £1 for the entire day. And so the chef would make you a very nice plate of nutritious meal and then, put a cling film around it and put it in the fridge and put your name on it and everything on the plate for just £1. Okay, so it was quite cheap. So got to a time when I was doing 9 shift, I would rather not eat in the house and I'll let them leave me dinner from the kitchen. I used to do that after I learned from that lady. I used to do that as well. But this lady, she wasn't only doing that for lunch or only doing that for dinner. She was doing that like her whole life in the UK. She was always eating over there. And I remember one of the staff one day was laughing at her that she's on level 3 diet, because sometimes if there's no food, she doesn't mind eating the textured like diets, like let's say level 4 diet or level 5 minced and moist or puree diet. She would eat it, all because of her goal that she had in mind. She was so keen on saving money and then paying off her house for she and her kids to go and live in. Honestly, I've tried to interview her, but because of the marital issues and a lot of things, she did not want to be. I remember there was a time that I went to interview another person close to her, and she was begging me not to even put the camera by her face. That's how bad she doesn't want to be seen. And I hope she doesn't take offense to this video, because we're learning from her story. Before I go ahead, let me just give a big shout out to the sponsor of today's video. This video is proudly sponsored by TransferGo. TransferGo, for those of you who are hearing it for the first time, is an international money transfer app that allows you to send money from EU to many African countries. You can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, and several other African countries. At the moment, TransferGo's rate to Ghana is amazing, honestly. To my Ghanaians living in the United Kingdom or living in other EU countries, listen to this carefully. TransferGo allows you to send money directly from your account here in the UK or EU country directly to Ghana mobile money wallet. You can send it to Airtel Tigo account, MTN mobile money account, Telecel account. And the first 2 transfers are absolutely free. And with the subsequent transfers, you're literally paying very little or nothing at all, honestly. TransferGo is rated the best financial app on Trustpilot. Remember, you can initiate the transfer in less than a minute, and within like a minute, literally, the person at the other end is going to get the money. All you need to do is just use the link in the description or just download TransferGo app. And remember to use my referral link, okay? And you can also generate your own referral link and then make some extra cash whenever people use your link to transfer money. TransferGo is rated by the UK Financial Conduct Authority, so you can trust that this is a legit way of transferring money. You don't have to be afraid of losing your money. Remember, you can always track the transfer in the app, and they are super reliable. And if you have any issues whatsoever, customer support team is willing to assist you whatsoever, whatever time it is. Remember, with TransferGo, there are no hidden charges, and they are trusted by 4 million plus users worldwide. But the thing is, TransferGo allows you to send money not only to Ghana, but so many other African countries. So if you're watching me and you're not a Ghanaian, still you can use TransferGo. But this particular message was for my Ghanaian fellows. Thank you so much, TransferGo, for sponsoring today's video. When it comes to rent, she never rents a single place like a 1-bedroom apartment. She would always rent a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom apartment, and then she would give the other 2 rooms out. So let's say she rents a place, let's say a 3-bedroom for, let's say, 1,000 a month, just an example, and then she gets 1 room for herself, and then the other 2 rooms she gives it to other people, 2 other people, right? So let's say this person is paying 400, this other person is paying 400, and then she will at the end of the day add only 200 pounds to it. So that's how she was saving massively on her rent or her accommodation. And I remember there was a time that 2 people left before she could find somebody else. So that means she had to pay the entire thing to herself, and it stressed the hell out of her. This woman, after many years later, when I went back to see her, this woman had finished paying off the house. Let me also add that she doesn't buy clothes, she doesn't buy shoes, she doesn't buy anything. She sends stuff to her family back in the other EU country that I mentioned. So she was the one who even made me know that in Northern Ireland here or in Belfast here, they have what we call car boot sales and garage sales. So there was this shopping center not far from where we both used to live. On Saturday mornings, there would be a huge garage sale or like a boot car sale where people will come and then they'll showcase things that they no longer need or things that they have slightly used. And then she could actually get designer stuff. She could get like a Nike sneakers for maybe 12 pounds, you know. Sometimes she could even get things for free. That's how she was living her life. So she was literally spending little to no money at all in the UK here. And that's how she used to finish paying off her house. There are a few lessons. I'm not trying to say that we should do that, but I'm just trying to show you a few things. So many years later, after I went back to that nursing home to see her, and she showed me a video of the house, and I nearly cried. The house was built on top of a sea. The house was flooded. Everywhere in the house was leaking. Sewage system or the water system, the pipe system was absolutely whack. And this is a house that this woman has spent years toiling, working this is an elderly woman working 7 days every single week. And now look at that. I remember she told me the exact value of the house, you know, those times when she was massively saving, but I do not remember exactly what it was, but it was quite expensive. Remember, it's another European country and it was a big house, and she had finished paying everything from her care job. I remember there were months that she was even earning more than me because of the number of hours she worked and because of the overtime rate. She was actually earning way more. So one, the first lesson I learned is that, okay, let's forget about the flooding in the house, and wherever there's a will, there's a way. Look at the strategies that she was able to come up with to save a lot of money. Look at the food thing that I told you for years she was eating from the nursing home. Look at the accommodation strategy that she had, the work strategy that she had. Everything, there was a strategy and there was a plan, and that allowed her to save massively to pay off her house in that number of years. Wherever there's a will, there's a way. I realized that there are lots of migrants that we're never content. I mean, I can say I'm one of them. Like today, UK is booming. People are moving to the UK, people are making money in the UK, so you want to come to the UK. When it comes to the UK, you see that the money is not too much. You forget that you're overspending, you forget that you're buying designer stuff, you forget that you're always eating out, you forget all of that, and now you're so angry with the UK, you're always complaining you want to go to Saudi Arabia. See, I'm talking to myself, honestly. If your habits don't change, you'll still not be able to keep a lot of money, and then you want to move. Another thing I learned is that regardless of how much you want to do something, I mean, if you can, go back and then check on these things yourself. I mean, look at her hard-earned cash almost coming to ruins because she was not going to check, and she trusted somebody to take care of their house and a whole lot of issues, and look at what happened. And regardless, let's say you have a building project in Ghana, let's say you have a business in Ghana, somebody you trust is taking care of it for you. Once in a while, make a random visit to the place, buy a ticket. You can get cheap tickets if you plan ahead of time. Take some days off, travel to this place, travel to Nigeria, travel to your home country, go and check on this business, go and check on this project. There's so many people in the Western world who trusted family members to put up things for them, and they've been duped. Many years later, you go and then you realize that honestly nothing was going on. They were just taking pictures of other people's properties and sending it to you. So go back home if you're doing something there, okay? So wherever there's a will, there's a way. Like I said, that's the first lesson that I've learned. You can save wherever you are. It's just you having to sit down and come up with very creative strategies to save money and to make more money. And secondly, when you're making projects somewhere, you have to show up, and then you have to check on it as often as you can. So this story has taught me the value of hard work, the power of resourcefulness, the importance of financial planning, and the impact of building a supportive community. Also, whenever you go somewhere and then people are doing things that you do not necessarily understand, try to find out why. I mean, I could have just said she's a stingy lady, and then I could have just said she just wants too much money. But when I got to know her, I realized the main reasons why she was doing things, and some of the reasons that I cannot even put on camera today, but it made me understand her, and then I have learned so much from her. And some of the things that she did might not necessarily be accepted, but I'm just trying to say that if there is a will, there's a way. People are finding creative ways to earn so much and spend so little, and they're doing well wherever they are. And we can do same too. Whenever you meet people, try to understand them, try to listen to their story. People have so many interesting stories that you can actually learn from. And this is what I learned from this lady. If you've met anybody like that, or if you've met people with interesting stories and you've learned so much from them, comment below. Let us all learn together. This is the strangest person I have met. No transportation, paying little or no money for accommodation, never buying food, never buying clothes, except from sales and people's old items. How? But I learned a lot, and I admire her so much for that. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.